Hello. So today we're talking Aughts Boys, which is, if you're unaware, a series that I'm currently writing and publishing. The first 4 books are out currently. It's less of like a continuous series and more of a series of interconnected companion novels. It is not written or published chronologically, which is a bitch sometimes, but currently has out 4 books. First one being One More Sad Song, which follows Zeke Williams as he just resigns himself to a fate of being in love with his best friend Kevin and just never getting any sort of reciprocation, at least until Kevin gets a girlfriend and Zeke doesn't take that well. The sequel, well, not really sequel, the second book, which takes place a couple months before the first book, The Horror at Camp Newwoods, which follows Elliot Roth as he goes to camp and then people start dying. It's a straight up slasher. Later, the series will return to slasher at some point, but as of right now, this is the only slasher in the series. Then the third book, which takes place a full year before the first book, Right or Wrong, follows Luke Mickelson in Minnesota as he tries to deal with the fact that he is becoming friends with this guy named Matt. And Matt has historically been just the douchiest of the douches. He's a jerk to everybody around him. But Luke starts to see that he maybe has something more in him. Maybe he could be somebody who could be a good friend. And then a kid killed himself and everybody pretty much blames Matt about it. And then the fourth book, which is more of a direct sequel to the first one, although not with the same main character. We got Hit or Miss, which follows Ashton Morin, who, if you read the first book, you would recognize. The only other characters who are recognizable from the first book, and these two are Matt. Ashton Morin, as he tries to get over his ex-boyfriend and tries to lead his hockey team to state and tries to figure out what exactly he wants from life, from if he wants to come out, if he wants to go to college, if he wants to try and make it pro, all sorts of things. Currently I am working on the 5th book, which does have a cover, Until I Fall Away, which does follow Matt the douche, as after he graduates high school and what he's trying to do with his life. But today, this whole entire thing came to me, this idea, and if you read the title, you know what this idea is. This whole idea came to me when I started watching the anime Skate the Infinity, and I was like, God damn, Zeke would love this. So today I figured we would talk about which anime, if the main characters if the point of view characters of the Aughts Boys books were watch anime, which anime they would watch and enjoy. And so we start with a very obvious answer: Skate the Infinity for Zeke, for One More Sad Song. One of the things about Zeke is that he only cares about skateboarding. That is the only thing he cares about. He's a great skateboarder. He's really good at it. It's all he cares about. His dad thinks it's a waste of time. Skate the Infinity, 100%. Now it gets a little bit trickier because Zeke's was the really obvious answer. And I'm going to do the unpublished books too, just because otherwise it would be very short. Horror at Camp Newwoods, Elliot. I do feel like Elliot, this is actually an anime I just watched this morning. I watched the first episode this morning. Let me see if I'm going to actually, let's look at my watch list for Crunchyroll, because that might help me here. Psalm 100, Bucket List of the Dead. So Elliot is a final boy extraordinaire, and I think he would have a lot of fun with that one, honestly. Then for Luke, honestly, Luke is the most basic young man that's ever existed. I'm gonna say Death Note. I'm gonna say he's gonna go extremely basic. The only anime he's ever watched is Death Note. That's it. It's just Death Note, and it was good. And he tried to watch something else, but it was just too weird. And he was just like, nope, just Death Note. Okay, now Ashton. So Ashton, you might want to say like a sports anime. There's not any good, at least that I found, hockey animes. It's not as popular. But I'm honestly gonna say something like Tokyo Ghoul, because Ashton's a horror fan, and that's why him and he likes horror. He reads horror. Every book he's mentioned as reading in here is a horror novel. I'm gonna say Tokyo Ghoul. And now Matt. Jesus Christ, Matt would be a sports anime guy. Like I said, there's no hockey ones, but I think honestly something like Kuroko's Basketball would be something kind of up Matt's alley. I'm gonna say Kuroko's Basketball, Kuroko no Basket. And now I have to go into my folder to see who the next point of view character is. Okay, so the next one, the book 6 will be called Promise Me, and that one's gonna be from Kevin's point of view. And so Kevin I think is also very basic, but I want to say in like a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood kind of way. Yeah. Yeah, Kevin is also going to be very basic. Kevin is Zeke's best friend, the one that he's in love with. I'm gonna, yeah, Full Metal Alchemist for sure. Next is the Quinn book, Quinn No Remorse. Quinn, okay, Quinn is like your metalhead kid. Given, Quinn would love Given. So you got the music thing there. You've got, they're gay, and Quinn would love that. No, Quinn ends up being, he's a very minor character in book 1. Book 4, he ends up being a little bit more important, and then he becomes kind of enmeshed in there. He's a skateboarder. That he's like Zeke's closest friend after Kevin at the start of One More Said Song, and by that I mean Zeke will talk to him. But yeah, no, definitely Given for Quinn. All right. Bleeded Out. So Bleeded Out is the next slasher one, and that falls kid named Eddie. This would definitely, he'd have to have a horror one. He only likes horror. What's the grossest anime that's ever existed? Like, I honestly want to say oh my gosh, my music's on. I was like, what is this sound? It's like I hear 3 Days Grace. I would say something like Happy Sugar Life. Something just real fucked up. I would say Happy Sugar Life because Eddie is real fucked up. And then also on the horror train, Threat to Survival, which is also a horror one, which follows Nick, who was in Horror Camp New Woods. But I want to say he's probably, honestly, he's more of a slasher guy. I'm gonna say Danganronpa. I'm gonna say Nick's a Danganronpa guy because he definitely loves Battle Royale, and I feel like it's the same kind of thing. He'd be kind of into that, definitely. Then we got Vic, Ohio's for Lovers, which is the Vic book. I want to say another sports anime, probably. Probably something more like something with a little bit more sexual tension than Kuroko no Basket. I know people have an Aomine Kisei thing, but get that out of here. Kisei and Kasamatsu Forever. Probably something like Free. I'm gonna say something with a little bit more tension, like Free. Yeah, that'd be Vic. Then we've got So Poetic, which is Benji Holmes. Benji would never watch anime in his life. He'd think it is a total waste of time. But then again, he would probably like have like a really stupid like guilty pleasure, like Attack on Titan. Yeah, oh my god, yeah, Attack on Titan. He's an AOT kind of guy. Loser is Benji Holmes. Did I say Benji Holmes? Benjamin Stevens was the last one. He's the one who's too pretentious for this. Benji Holmes is definitely an isekai guy. It's like that time I got reincarnated as a slime kind of thing. So I'm a spider, so what? 100%. He's that kind of nerd. Yeah, yep. Last Resort, which is the Jack one. Jack, I'm gonna repeat. I'm gonna say Jack also watches Death Note. I'm gonna say that he thinks it's super good and he feels kind of pretentious, but I'm gonna say he also is into like Bungo Stray Dogs because they take like, he's super pretentious. I know from One More Sad Song and Hit or Miss you don't get that Jack is super pretentious, but once we actually learn more about Jack, he's super pretentious about like literature and stuff like that. I'm gonna say Bungo Stray Dogs because he like recognizes all the author names that they use. He's like, yeah, I've read that author. But he also definitely likes Death Note. Everything's Fine, which is Brody. Brody also watches Given. And he thinks that obviously everybody wants to kiss their bandmates. But I'm gonna say he also, what else would he be into? Probably like popular stuff like Chainsaw Man. he definitely also played dramatical murder, like just for the lulz, and got way too into it. And so he definitely also watched the anime. And then The Art of Losing, which is the Jackson, which is the last one. And Jackson does not understand anime at all. I'm gonna say he probably watched like Orange High School Host Club and was deeply confused. But then he probably is sports. Probably then he got really into Haikyuu. He's definitely a Haikyuu kind of guy. That's what it is. That's what it is. So yeah, that's that. I don't even know. This was just fun for me to think about. But yeah, no, if you are in any way interested, I will spend the last bit of this reading the backs of all of these. So One More Sad Song. The only ones I'd say you probably should read in order would be these two, just because if you don't want to get spoiled for relationships in this one, like you kind of got to read this one second. But One More Sad Song, August 24th, 2004. His brother is at college. The weatherman's predicting good weather well into next week, and Zeke's had the new Taking Back Sunday album pounding out of Discman for the past month. Almost perfect, almost so perfect that he almost doesn't care if school's starting up again on Monday. He's got his music, he's got a good forecast for his board, and he's got pretty much the sole attention, at least the attention that's not being taken up by Keanu Reeves movies and conspiracy theories of his best friend and unknowing love of his life, Kevin. Fucking Kevin. At least until he doesn't. Well, there's the fact that Kevin grew 3 inches over the summer, or his Free the West Memphis 3 t-shirt, Kevin's landed the girl of his dreams, who just so happens to be a colossal bitch. And just like that, Zeke's gone from spending 99% of his time with Kevin to spending 25% of his time with Kevin. And no matter how much Ashton, the cute hockey forward, keeps bugging him, Kevin is Zeke's only friend. So Zeke decides doing something about it. He decides to break Kevin and his girlfriend up. Then everything's got to go back to normal, right? Then book 2, which again takes a complete left turn, June 2004. For Elliot Roth, having to go to summer camp means spending one less month with his less than emotionally invested. Having to go to summer camp means spending one less month with his less than emotionally invested father. So really, he's all for it. And at first, camp seems fine. He likes the guys in his cabin. He likes the counselor, and being outside for 4 weeks shouldn't be bad. But then he finds an abandoned cabin in the woods, and a kid nearly drowns in a lake. Elliot initially brushes off suspicions as a result of listening too much to Nick, the resident horror movie expert at Camp New Woods, but when someone shows up dead, he has to admit something's going on here. The only question is whether he and his cabin mates can make it out alive. This is a novella. It's like 115 pages. Super fun. Then, Right or Wrong, August 17th, 2003. Luke Mickelson is content. Sure, his older brother's in the Middle East, and in some weird twist of fate, he's now friends with Matt, who trucked Luke's backpack in the Mississippi when they were in the 4th grade, but life is alright. He has friends. The cutest girl on the basketball team, not this one, is giving him eyes, and sophomore year's looking up. But being friends with Matt is harder than it seemed at first. Mostly it's with the fact that Matt constantly bullies Brian Henderson, but he's hardly nice to his friends, let alone anyone else. Is it alright to be friends with a bully? Or does that just make you one? That's the question that Luke has the entire book. Constantly. And then Hit or Miss, which again, somewhat of a spoiler for Relationship One More Sad Song, but it's kind of mentioned there. August 14th, 2005. Ashton Moran is going into senior year with 2 wishes. 1, get over his ex-boyfriend, pro skateboarder Zeke Williams, and 2, take his hockey team to state and win. And with a strong first line and a cute kid to sit next to an AP English, both of these wishes seem, at the very least, semi-possible. At least they would be if Matt Klein wasn't dead set on ruining his plans. Because for some reason Matt doesn't like Ashton, which is a shame because Matt is the muscle part of their hockey team, and Ashton, who is used to being liked by everyone and their mother, does not know how to handle it. How could it get worse? Throw in a violent and antisocial English partner, Reed, not the cute kid from before, a hockey tournament that changes everything, and the growing desire to tell his hockey team exactly why he hasn't been hooking up with all the girls he wants. And Ashton's senior year is looking to be something a little less than perfect. I genuinely love these books. I genuinely love writing them. They are the easiest books for me to write. And I think part of this is because I know these characters so well. I'm just so into it. I'm so into them. They're so good. Yeah, they take place either in North Dakota, Minnesota, or mostly in Ohio. They really stem, because the first book, One More Sad Song, really stemmed from just being every stereotype about like early 2000s pop punk emo stuff, which is why they take place in Ohio. You know, like I love them. But yeah, that's that. This is just a dumb little video. I just had fun with it. That's everything. That's all.